Hi everyone, welcome to episode 1 of How to Record Heavy Drums, otherwise known as episode 55 of things your bass player is too dense to understand. We're going to start with the most fundamental part of recording drums, setting up the kit. See, the most critical thing in recording drums isn't about mic placement or EQs or compressors. It's finding that critical balance between what works for recording and what your drummer can live with. Because many drummers want to make your life absolute hell. Some of the setups I've seen over the years, man, I just fucking cringe. Like, how the fuck can these guys actually play these things? For recording, I like to have the kit set up so the drummer plays down at the kit. That means a high throne and a fairly flat snare and toms. This is so we can get the full power out of the stick strikes and not kill the drummer's legs on long double kick runs. Now, you can have angled toms, just not anything extreme. If you're near vertical, you'll only be hitting the drums with a glancing blow and not delivering the full power of the stick strike into the drum. And because we're recording metal, we want to maximize the energy being put into the drum because we're going for a larger than life sound. The same goes with the snare. We want very flat for maximum energy and to be able to rim shot consistently. That being said, if you disagree with what I'm saying, feel free to stick with those awesomely wimpy tones that have been working out so well for you in the past. Okay, the key to a great setup is the placement of the throne, the kick, and the snare. Once those elements are in place, everything else fits in rather easily. Now, let's start with the throne. If you're playing a lot of double bass, your throne height is absolutely critical. I've seen a lot of guys come in with their throne set too low, and then they wonder why their legs hurt after a long day of tracking drums. I had Jana Sarampa from The Crown come in about 10 years ago, and to get the throne up to the desired height, we had to put books under it to get it higher. I wasn't so sure about it, but I'll tell you, once we got that kit set up, even I could play double bass on it, and I'm the worst drummer in the world. So I set the throne up high, again, so we can play down at the kit and let gravity work to our advantage. You're not going to have to work your legs as hard for double kick runs, and you'll get a better sounding kick drum. Allow me to demonstrate. Here's a throne with a low setting. Notice on the kick run how the drummer's torso is being pulled forward and out of optimal position. And for comparison, here's the throne set a few inches higher. We get a much more powerful sound and it sounds better, especially on the double kick run. So, I wish some of you drummers out there would explain to me why you refuse to raise up your throne. The drummer in this example isn't very tall, which is usually the bullshit excuse I get. I'm not tall. Yeah, I just don't fucking get it. Anyway, get your fucking throne up high and get your kick pedals into position and stop fucking whining. Next, let's get the fucking snare into place. Again, we want it to be a reasonable height and very flat because to get a larger than life sound, we'll be playing steady rim shots. What's that, you say? You can't play rim shots? Then why the fuck are you in the studio? Get the fuck out and get on the train back to Pussyville. You want to play metal? You want an explosive snare sound? You better be playing fucking rim shots. But I play blast beats. So you want your fucking snare to sound like a limp dick on rice paper for the whole fucking album then? You're playing blast beats, what, 2% of the time? Okay, I can't help those. Most drummers' blast beats sound pretty fucking wimpy, but that is no excuse for the snare to sound like total shit the rest of the time. Flatten your fucking snare out and start playing steady rim shots. And learn how to rim shot your blast beats, because I thought you said you were good. Okay, next up, get your hats into place. No, not that fucking close to the snare, and no, not so fucking low. Look, I know that guys who can't count to 4 have a real hard time comprehending this next concept. The snare mic is the most important mic on the kit, and the hi-hat is its fucking kryptonite. It will just bleed all over the fucking place. So we need physical separation between the hat and the snare. And to do this, we use the vertical plane to our advantage. That means moving the hats up the stand a few inches. And if you're a double kick player, the hat stand is probably fairly far away from the snare due to the kick pedal configuration. Next, close your hats because this isn't a fucking disco record. All right, get your toms into place. Again, fairly flat. You'll get more power and better rebound. Just take care to see that they're not rubbing up against any of the other kit elements. And lastly, the cymbals. No, get them up fucking higher. The more you break up the kit, the better it will sound.
Fuck you, Glenn.
I've seen some pretty ridiculous cymbal setups in my time, and some guys wonder why their cymbals bleed all over the tom mic so badly. Well, take a close look at your kit. Keep the fucking cymbals away from the fucking toms and it'll sound better. All right, we've got the kit set up. Now let's take a look at the mics. For kick, I prefer the Audix D6. It's in a class all its own. Snare, Granelli 5790. It's a modified SM57 specifically for snare drums. Don't fuck around with other bullshit, get one of these. Toms, Sennheiser MD421. Yeah, they aren't cheap, but they're totally worth the investment. Save your pennies and get these, they'll last a lifetime. Overheads, I'm using Octava MC012s modified by Michael Jolie over at OctavaMod. And in the room, I'm using an Art M5 ribbon. Hold off on this as we had a bit of a breakthrough with the room mics while making this series, and I'm going to go into greater detail there. The kit is tuned with the drum dial, and if you're serious about recording drums, I recommend you get one of these because chances are the drummer you're recording won't know how to tune his kit. I'll be doing an episode on tuning with the new digital drum dial in the very near future, so stay tuned for that. Anyway, after all that setup, here's how the kit sounds mic'd up. Okay, guys, that's it for this episode. Next up is overheads. See you then.